On the recently purchased 140, the wooden housing over the shifter has peeled up, and I think this is a common problem, so I wanted to replace that. I need to get the shifter off. Now, the first generation ones, the manual says to actually strike it with a mallet on the top end and rotate it counterclockwise, which scared the hell out of me. The second generation ones, you can supposedly unthread it from the base. So go to 10 minutes to see how you get it off with the mallet technique, which actually does work and doesn't damage it. But you're going to see how I did it by taking it apart at the beginning, which is a lot of effort and very, very difficult. Now, whenever I'm working on the cars inside, it's nice to actually just detach the door sensor so the light's not on permanently. Just push the little metal tab at the top and then that thing will slide off, and that way all your lights aren't on for the next, what ended up being quite a long time. So, time to pull this thing apart. Now, this starts with just chucking it into neutral and chucking on the foot brake. I'll get rid of that radio and down the track, don't worry about that. The next step is just simply pulling out the ashtray, and after removal of the little contents, take the spring off and get that Phillips screw underneath that to take the wooden trim off. The wooden trim will have to come off to give access for the Torx screws. So the little Phillips comes off using a 90-degree ratchet, and then that piece of wood just comes out without trying to scratch it. Just lift it up a little bit. Sorry, I'm filming this in one-handed. There's the back of the piece of wood trim. And then we've got these two Torx screws, one each side, which need another 90-degree ratchet. Now, getting them out, there's little recesses, it's quite clever, of the back of the ashtray, so you can see why the wood trim needed to come out, and that's what they look like. So once those two are out, just take off the little surrounding around the gear shifter. That just gently lifts up, and lift the wood from underneath the ashtray piece, lift it up. It's caught on that flexed bit of wood. You might want to push the shifter forward and then basically just pull it forward. See, the tabs are locking it towards the back of the car. Don't lift it straight up or you'll just snap it. Now, you can take all the electric switches off. I just took one of them off, and that gave me access to what I need. Now, subsequent generations of Mercs seem to get harder and harder getting these things off. On the 116s, 123s, you used to just do 4 bolts and then just get the thing from the bottom with a wrench, but these ones are a little bit more challenging. So there's 6 clips that hold the little support on, and I'll show you them later. You can see there's 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and then 2 on the driver's side. That doesn't help you get much out, it just gives you a bit more access. Now, then what you're going to do is, you can see the little circlip down there. Now, this is the alternate way of getting your shifter out, and it is no longer my preferred technique, because if you take that circlip off, which is a bit of a pain in the ass but can be done, that spring is under a lot of tension. It's so much tension, it's hard to get the circlip out. You can see one side's come out. I've used the pliers from the front, but the other side is lodged in there. So I had to jimmy that off. So it's very difficult getting that off. But once the circlip's out, you can see the shifter will come out with its attached little locating lug at the bottom. I apologize for the quality of the footage. And then you can just lift it all up. It's been in there for 30 years. It's pretty solid. And there we go. That's all come out. So that's the washer over the spring. There is no way you're pushing that with a finger. That thing needs a lot of force. Now mine's a 4-speed. The selector is a bit different. So here is the apparatus with the warped wood and the aluminium backing, which you can cleave off with a blade. And there's the little locating lug, which makes this all so difficult. It sits on top of the spring. And I'll show you that a little bit more in a second. There's the part number for a right-hand drive 4-speed shifter housing for my 600. And you can see here is the wood trim that I've purchased online, which I've got to fit on. Now, there's the locating lug, and you'll see there's ramps at almost like the BMW portions dare I say it, that is sloped. So as you can actually get this on with the hammer technique, and I'll talk about that, that is the preferred option and the intended way. It basically will get pushed down, get over the hump, and then spin out, and vice versa. So to get that off, basically all I do is I put the shifter in the vise without tension, and I'm just going to push it down a little bit. That will lift the locating lug off the pins. Then you're going to spin it to the amount you can see where it needs to spin to just slide that off inferiorly then. So now I've got it above the lugs. I'm going to just gently rotate it. I'm not sure if these are supposed to spin freely. Mine's a little bit solid, which is why I just need a bit of traction. And once I've done that, then I can just slide that off. Or in my case, I just push that off. There we go. So that will then free up the shifter. And enable you to remove it on this first generation vehicle. There's the circlip. The circlip, it's good. The circlip can't fall off and you can't lose it because its diameter is not much more than the gear shifter. And there's our shifter removed. So there's our new wood piece to go on. And looking at that straight away, I can see that the shifter window is too large by the order of a couple of mils each side. I can't fathom why that would be the case. And then when I start to look at it, I realize that the outline for the gate, although close, is actually not correct. And even the order of a millimeter or two here doesn't cut it. So there's my warped wood, the aluminium frame on the back, which I'm going to have to use as a template now. I'm going to have to send this off to the wood trimmers to see if they can cut me one up. In particular, that little tooth at the bottom, you can see between 3 and 2 or whatever it is, it's broader on the other one. As one of the identifiable problems compared to the one on the right, which is the eBay purchase. And you can get the stickers, you know, the depressed brake or whatever it is. I just bought them off eBay. So you can look them up on eBay. Because I thought I was quite clever and I'd have this all ready to go in, but alas, after all this effort, I've got to start again. So I'm going to put it back together now. Now what I thought I'd do is try and put this thing back in and do it the correct way, because I was not doing that circlip with everything in place on top of it again. Getting it out was hard enough, getting it in would be impossible. So I just thought I'd have a look at this. So there's the locating lug. That little tooth has to go towards the right side of the vehicle. I wonder if that goes to the left on the left-hand drive vehicles. I very much... No, it would, I think. But on the right-hand drive vehicle, the tooth goes to the right. And you can see how the little locating lugs of the shifter go down into that and then twist. Now, I could not get that in the car, so I've removed the little base for the gear shifter. And there's the spring and the washer. And I had to think of some ways to get this in. That spring, as you will read online, is so tight, it is impossible. So the only way I could actually compress it was I just put a bolt in there, put it in the vise, squash the vise enough that I could get that depressed over the spring, and then put the circlip in. That was not easy. You can't just put a bolt from top to bottom with a nut and then compress it, because at the bottom, the casting is in the way to put something on. So that's how you can do that if for some strange reason you want to have a go at that. You can see the locating lug is down a long way. You'll see how difficult this is if you have to attempt it. Now, that then goes back in the car. Wonderful. So there's the locating pin at the bottom with the spring. Look, that takes 20 minutes. You'll figure that out. There's 2 little rubber bushings in between the bases of those springs. Don't lose them. And that's what gives slop in the shifter if they fail. So then I'm going to put the window back on. I make sure the economy sport lever is lined up. I think the little tab at the front of the gator goes at the top, or of the sliding mechanism, sorry. And that just slides freely. On goes the housing with the 6 locating lugs. And you can see I've taken the aluminium frame off. It doesn't look too bad. It's going to look better than having that warped wood on there. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this sorted out. And so there we go, that's looking all right. And then what I'm going to do is put the shifter in. Now, getting it in is actually not that bad. Like, you just push it down and rotate it clockwise. I'm an idiot. You can see I've rotated it, not thinking about it, and then it's back to front. So at this point, necessity is the mother of invention. I went to the hammer technique, and what I did is I put a couple of blueies on top of it, and with a rubber mallet, I tapped it down while putting counterclockwise traction on it, and it does come out. You can see. Now, this is the recommended technique in the manual, which I just thought sounded idiotic because I don't want to damage the trim piece, but it does work. So rather than taking that circlip, this is the way I'll be doing it when I get the wood trim back. You can see I've put it back in there. It's facing off to the left, and then rotate it 90 degrees, and happy days. So although you'll be able to push it in, you cannot get it out with bodily force unless you're about 400 kilos. So that's why the mallet technique is needed. And then once I've got that back in, basically everything goes back on. It looks all right for the time being. It's better than having that rubbish bit of wood in there. And I'll find an option for the wood replacement.